So AJD Old Channel says, I'd argue that if J.J. Abrams directed all three films with all of the plot points of The Force Awakens satisfyingly developed, it would have been a success, $2 billion per film through all three films. So I'm not sure about that. I mean, I think you're putting a lot of faith in Abrams. Again, if you go back and look at a lot of that stuff, they didn't have a trilogy mapped out. I think Abrams said he had some notes and some ideas that he passed on to Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson said he was like, nah, I don't care. I'm doing my own thing. Colin Trevorrow did have concept art and everything created for his stuff.
Colin Trevorrow saw what happened with the second film. It was like, no, I'm out.
He's like, I'm out.
I'm not taking the heat for this.
He's like, I can't save this. Like, what, you giving me this? Are you serious? You have Luke Skywalker throwing his lightsaber away? What are you doing? He's a hermit. He's giving up and he's closed off from the force. Like, I'm out of here. I'm doing Jurassic.
I mean, I will say this, like, I'm not a big fan of J.J. Abrams either, but I do think that the trilogy, had he directed all three, probably would have been a lot better plotted out and a lot more defined than what we did in the beginning. And it's the thing that
getting memory box though.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's better than having three entirely different directors try to do a continuous story in three different movies, because all it took was one of them. That all it took was one of them to smash everything up and screw it up for everyone involved. That we got what we got.
So, Josh, right before I respond here, what do you got to say?
Oh yeah, that does not make it sure that it would have been consistent story-wise. Just look to the Star Trek movies. In the second movie, he already was trying to do the Wrath of Khan, and he failed.
Yeah.
Yep. But like I said.
Yeah,
that was it.
Oh, that was it. Right, Jacob is like giving too much credit to J.J. Abrams, and I'm like, look, just look at this at the Star Trek movies. That would have been a disaster as well. In Star
Trek. And I just want to point out, like, the fact that just because you have the same director doesn't mean he's gonna like keep the same story. And I guess with J.J., obviously he would be the same kind of story guy, but again, he only had like some rough story points. It wasn't like they actually had a story scripted out. I mean, James Gunn talks about this. This is Disney's MO. That he criticized them for this. As much as I criticize James Gunn, I actually agree with him on this point. I mean, Disney was, and I think Lucasfilm is doing this. They were putting films in production without quality scripts. Bob Iger is admitting this in multiple interviews that he's been giving over the past like 2-3 months. I mean, these people, he knows he has a quality problem. He knows these things are crap. He knows he's got bad people in there. But I don't think he can. I mean, this is basically what happened. So he's not going to be able to solve it.
This is essentially what happened with Disney Star Wars. You had not Rian Johnson. You had J.J. Abrams present a toy to Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson basically took a hammer, smashed it to bits, and then passed it over to Colin Trevorrow. Colin Trevorrow just got up and walked away, and then like J.J. Abrams had to go back and sit down.
I'm gonna go play with.
And then J.J. Abrams had to go back and sit down with like a glue gun and try to like put the toy back together. That's pretty much what happened with 3 films.
Yeah. Yeah, so AJAD says, I think a rough story is better than no story. What Rian Johnson did was just put the whole thing into reverse rather than carrying forward what was set up in the prior film. Yeah, sure. But again, I do think there's a lot of optimism there with J.J. Abrams. I mean, I think Josh points out with Star Trek is a perfect example. I mean, I haven't really seen J.J. create anything like amazing that really stands out, or like it's like I'm gonna go back and watch that J.J. Abrams thing. His Mission Impossible movie is one of the worst ones. The Mission Impossible movie he does is I think one of the worst ones. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's I'm gonna pull up J.J. Abrams. We're gonna look at his directing credits. Previous here, Mission Impossible. He was a producer on that. I must be on producer. I don't want to look at the producer. Producer doesn't matter. I'm looking at director here. Where's director? Why is his director credits not showing up? What is going on here? What is this?
What happened?
Where are the director credits? It's
very finicky now. It's very finicky.
Oh, there it is. That's so weird. What is going on? IMDb, fix your site. Mission Impossible 3. That is one of the worst ones. Is that
the Philip Seymour Hoffman one?
That is the
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, IMF agent comes into conflict with a dangerous and sadistic arms dealer who threatens his life and his fiancée in response. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I think that's the only Mission Impossible movie I haven't seen.
That's the Philip Seymour Hoffman one with Owen Davian. That is like the worst one. Thankfully, the franchise survived, and we got Fallout, and we're gonna get what's coming out this summer. But yeah, I mean, even the Mission Impossible films that he directed, that's like no good. Like that's the worst one. So I'm looking at like the Star Trek stuff, Star Wars. What else? Like Super 8, I guess, to the 2011. I'm looking here. He did a Shrek I Feel Good short in 1996. Felicity 1999. The Lost TV show Alias. I didn't really watch those. Lost was really big, I guess.
He was joining the comics as well. The Spider-Man run is awful.
That was his son, right? Or did he actually do a?
No, but he co-wrote it with his son, right? So yeah, it's him as well.
Yeah, Cider says Lost. Lost made his career, but like again, fell apart at the end. I think that's what you would have gotten with a J.J. Abrams all the way through. It still would have fell apart no matter what. You're still getting a Rise of Skywalker, which is absolutely garbage, abysmal. I mean, there's a reason that he signed that $500 million contract with Warner Brothers, and he actually hasn't even made anything. They had to like sell. Like the only thing that seems to be actually getting a green light with him is the Batman show that's being produced by him and like Matt Reeves and I forget some Bruce Timm. But that's not even going to be HBO Max. They're pushing that to Amazon now. It's going to be on Amazon. So yeah, I don't think that the Abrams mystery box movie making process would have been as successful as you're claiming with $2 billion of a film. I do think you wouldn't have had as significant as decline probably with Rise of Skywalker, but I still think you would have seen the decline. It just probably wouldn't be as steep, and there might be a little like. But the timeline of people being, the timeline of the Star Wars brand dying would have just been elongated.
But I'll have to. Here's another defense of J.J. Abrams, only because I'm comparing him to Rian Johnson, by the way. So let's not go any further than that. But if J.J. Abrams was in charge of the whole thing, I don't think he would have produced a movie that was quite as divisive as The Last Jedi. I mean, I think The Last Jedi pretty much like accelerated like everything fast forward to like the downfall of Star Wars. So yeah, maybe it still would have happened, but it wouldn't happen nearly as fast as it did. So.